Welcome back to the program. Two FM radio stations in Tanzania have been slammed with a temporary ban over alleged insults against President John Magufuli. Both stations broadcast from Arusha and are currently being investigated by the Information Ministry. It comes a few weeks after the government banned the newspaper Int'l for publishing false information, as tension rises ahead of countrywide rallies planned by the opposition for Thursday. President Magufuli banned all rallies after he won power last year, but the opposition Chadema party says it plans to go ahead. It wants to protest against new cybercrime laws it says infringes the freedom of expression, the sacking of public officials without due process, and the ban on political activities. The chairman of Kenya's Olympic Committee says he will not be resigning from his job despite the committee being disbanded by the government and 3 of his associates arrested over alleged mismanagement of the Olympic team. Chikoge Kano was dismissive of the sports minister's decision to dissolve the Olympic Committee, saying it should be Minister Hassan Wario who should resign over his ineptitude. Mr. Kano, a 2-time Olympic champion, won the inaugural Olympic laurel in Rio for his contribution to education, development and peace through sports. And meanwhile, a week after marathon runner Feyisa Lilesa won silver for Ethiopia at the Olympics, making headlines for crossing his hands above his head as he finished the race, a second Ethiopian runner has won the Quebec City Marathon in a similar fashion. The gesture is made by Ethiopia's Oromo people who have suffered brutal police crackdowns. However, the silver medalist said he feared being detained if he returned home, as he described a dangerous situation for the Oromo people. He feared he could die if he returned. Our sports correspondent Cecilia Moregwe joins us now to talk about this issue. Cecilia, is it common to see, I mean, we have 2 issues here, one in Kenya and another in Tanzania, but is it common to see athletes, behave in this manner?
Yeah, okay, maybe we'll start with talking about the Kenyan first,
yeah, exactly,
or rather the Ethiopian. I mean, for the Ethiopian, it's something that's really not common in sports. But I remember in 1968, at the Summer Games in Mexico City, you have 2 Americans who actually had this popular Black Power salute. I think we have Smith and also another, Tommy Smith and John Carlos. Both of them actually had this salute. And at that time, the then IOC president actually wanted the American team to actually suspend these guys. They didn't want to do that. He said, okay, they're not going to suspend them for that particular Black Power salute. What it's going to do, they'll send the whole American track and field team home. So it shows that IOC frowns at it, that's the International Olympic Committee, and in the 50 rule, I think the 50 rule charter, it also frowns at it that no political affiliation or whatsoever, whatever salutes and all that, you don't show that political affiliation in sport, because for sports, there's no politics in sport. Everyone is one. That's why at the Rio Games, you had this refugee team coming up for the first time, showing that yes, everyone is one. But for the Ethiopian guy, I think what he did was trying to show solidarity sign to demonstrators from his place and all that, saying that police crackdowns, more than 100 people have died because of that. But when you know in a particular sport that is difficult, there's a rule against it and all that. If you rule 50 of the Olympic Charter bans political display or protest and in any form of it. So that's what IOC is actually saying, that they are gathering information about the case to know if they are going to sanction him or not.
All right, thank you very much, Cecilia. There's actually a lot to talk about, but time will not permit us, so we just have to end this conversation here. All right, and that's our package today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bisi Adebayo.